You love writing configs, right? No? Anyways, I have the perfect Linux distro for you. Nix OS. But what exactly is Nix OS? Why is it such a great Linux distro? Everything in this video. I got the idea from AO Vision on the Discord, thank you for the idea. But the important question, what is Nix OS? It's a distro that really emphasizes on the Nix package manager and system configuration. The big thing about Nix OS is that you can create systems that are reproducible, declarative and reliable. The ISO itself is 3.6 GB. Of course, with Linux distros, there's a certain learning curve, and Nix OS is no exception. When you install the distro, with it you get a shortcut to the documentation of Nix OS, which can be quite neat. And of course, if the documentation isn't something for you, I've discovered a channel that explains certain Nix OS concepts or how certain things work there quite well. Link in the description.
So basically what we gotta do is add our Linux yeah. We gotta, of course, pick the OS. There we go. Shouldn't be too complicated, and of course pick the other. Oh yeah, let's go with this. 4 cores, 4 gigs of RAM should be fine, honestly. From what I know, 50 gigs of RAM, 50 gigs of storage space, be fine, honestly. Nix OS. Well, this is quite something. An LTS version even. Fascinating. Oh boy. Oh, we have the manual even here. That's neat. Gabe, what do you even get here? GNOME, no Plasma, we saw that. XFCE, interesting. Pantheon, interesting. Cinnamon, we know that. Mate, interesting. Enlightenment, interesting. Alex Cutie, interesting. Budgie, no disciplinarily, interesting. Spiky, Plasma. Oh, Nix OS is fully open source, but it also provides optional software packages that do not respect users' freedom to run. Copy this blah blah blah. Basically, that are not FOSS, okay? And are commonly not open source by default such oh sure. Erase disk you want to do with Hibernate looks good. Let's install it. So yeah, so the whole shtick about Nix OS is the maintainability from what I understand. Let me change the system settings real quick. Hold up. Do we have access to the manual? See, we do. This is just the browser, right? Okay. How do I install something? How do I install software? I see with NixCNB, I kind of remember that. Yeah, it does nothing, which sort of tells that I did something wrong. Nix sudo Nix OS rebuild switch. What? Then what am I doing right now? A rebuild? What is the rebuild? Reconfigure Nix OS. Oh, now it makes sense. No, it makes sense, since that way we are reconfiguring. Why? Okay, what's switch? Build and activate the new configuration. Oh, and make it boot default. Of course. So basically now sudo Nix OS rebuild. We want to switch the configuration, and basically we want to upgrade it. We want to Nix OS rebuild, which allows us to basically change something in the configuration. With switch, we basically tell this command that, hey, we want to switch up the new configuration, and basically with -- upgrade, we basically tell the command, hey, we want to upgrade that configuration. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's genius, actually. It makes absolutely sense. And this is basically updated. Apparently we don't need even the sudo, apparently. I think so, I'm not sure. So basically, are we allowed to just have Thunderbird? No, right? Yeah, not found, okay. So basically we have to specifically, I don't think that's entirely okay, but it makes sense. Basically it's currently installing, and now it's installed here. Something. It's copying, it's building, and now basically we have Thunderbird. Because this is a bit confusing right now. So before that we updated the system by updating the configuration. Did we install basically we installed something in the store here, but what exactly are the stores? Nix store. The Nix store is an abstraction to store immutable file system. Oh, it's immutable. Okay, cool. How would I install a file pack for Nix OS? I see. Here's the configuration. /etc/nixos/configuration mix. I see. To install Flatpak, set Nix OS option serves Flatpak enable to true by putting the following in your where? And then I have to rebuild the configuration need. Then we have to restall as I mentioned. At the end, I just have to put it here. Yeah, okay. Then what I do is sudo Nix OS rebuild switch. And now we can just put this in here. Oh, we then restart and that's it. Whoa. Oh, I get it. It stores every rebuild. Oh my god. So basically I can just roll to this version which I created, and basically it's gonna be like, I did everything here right now. I can just go like, oh, Flatpak install, I don't know, Steam, I guess. And if I roll back to those two versions, it's as if nothing happened. Okay, so I did some digging, or well, digging, look for the documentation, and if we look here, this is a neat website I found. Well, not found, but he showed. It's quite neat. With this, you can look for packages you might need, for example, with SSHD, OpenSSH, and stuff you just generally need. I showed before Discord can be found here. The email also can be found quite easily. You go here, profile, Nix env. Interesting. Usage Nix profile, Nix profile, and Nix packages. Nix env is more of an approach I'm familiar with. I haven't tried Nix shell, but check out this video, which I will put in the description. The configuration for Nix OS, which I will go into in a minute, VirtualBox. What I don't like is that you have at some point too many versions. I know it looks really scary because like it's long, you can scroll, but it's just majorly, yeah, it's mostly comments. And basically what I learned, and like the name of the program, and then basically enable you install it. And basically similar to here, if you, let's say, for example, if we take programs, Firefox, and then we search like some sort of dictionary, I would say. I'm not sure. For example, here, like I mentioned before, here, basically programs.steam. If you open it like this, enable equals true just installs it. And basically, you can just configure stuff. For example, 32-bit pulse audio pipeline support. I get why people like this. I get why people get behind this, and like basically to install stuff, to install something, all we gotta do is just for services, we just gotta type services.x server, for example, enable, and that's Nix search wget. Fascinating. Experimental Nix feature. Nix command assist disabled. And why did it disabled? What are experimental features are considered unstable? I see. Okay, which means that they can be changed or removed at any time. You just must fully enable them by toggling it. So blah blah blah. We saw that here. Experimental feature flags were introduced in Nix 2.4 before the Nix set half, and we got it by flags. Makes sense. I see. Basically, those are experimental stuff to not break the system. I see. This is something I do remember. Yes. Creating temporary environments. I see. Where garbage.b. So what did this exactly do? Because Nix OS never deletes the store item until you tell it to. Your disk can fill up with all generations. Oh, object cookbook. Yeah, I remember it. Reclaim space on Nix OS. Yeah, I remember that. Remove all generations. Oh, when you make changes to the system, it creates a new system generation. You'll remember that all of the changes to the system since the previous generation are stored there. All generations can add up and want to remove automatically by default. Makes sense. So basically with Nix env profile Nix bar, and am I doing this correctly? I might do something wrong because the tabulation doesn't work. Permission or not. This is sudo Nix env profile / Nix bar -- delete generations old. That's it. Oh, deduplication may wind up with duplicate. Okay. I think Nix OS is honestly pretty cool. So basically, why this is cool, you can have a whole system that is like dot files. If you don't know what dot files are, we're currently at home here. We do LSA. Those are dot files. For example, .config, which is for Linux writers, pretty big deal because dot files contain a lot of the configuration stuff, you know? Another day of Nix OS. Luckily from this guy, I learned popular beginner mistakes to avoid because, yeah, luckily one of the things I did was garbage collecting. So this is really good that I did that. One thing I did though was quite a small issue because for those who don't remember it all, I used Nix env dash, I think it was like -ia and then installed something like, and then this is a bad approach to do because you need Nix env to uninstall it then. From what I remember, you gotta use Nix shell. Yeah, here. Nix shell, if we take a look into it, a Nix shell will temporarily modify your path. It's basically the CSH bash rc, you know, environment variable. This can be used to try a piece of software before deciding to permanently install it. So Nix env install terminally, yeah, that's what I noticed. Nix shell only for the shell session, which is temporary. Okay, I guess I'm a beginner from my point. Oh, geez. For those who don't get it right now, it's because Nix OS is declarative. It should be I guess. Like, yeah, that's it. Let's see. So far, let's say I'm trying to install Telegram via Nix. In my Nix via Nix env. Basically how I did before. It's not the best way to do it in Nix declarative. Let's say yes. It's been like this because it's a just imperative approach. What if whenever we do that command, the package name gets added to its Nix additional package Nix file, taking its input module default, blah blah blah, default blah blah blah, because it doesn't make sense to do so. Many packages need more config than just edit to the packages and then be done. I see. It's so horribly broken if you do that. I see. Took me a minute to figure out that the manual says will declare as package management. You have to specify which package you want on your system by setting the option. This is this, for instance, and I did following this, for example. I just tried putting this, and this, picture leaf. Then of course run build switch and everything like that. Let's go here, and if I want to install something, I just want to, we go to Nix configuration, yes, like this basically. Environment dot system packages, yeah, annotations for packages dot for browser, or yeah, it was already defined. Yeah, look at what I did, and I wrote completely wrong. Let's just type it in here. So basically with packages we just type Tor browser, from what I understand. Now we do this, and it should just work. Yeah, it's doing something. Now this makes sense why this is grayed out, explaining also the warning. And now we want to update it, right? No, it wasn't update, but upgrade. Nix env delete. Nix OS is a pretty fascinating Linux distro, I have to admit. It's definitely not something I would hand in the beginner hands, but it's also not something for everyone because, let's say, not everyone enjoys writing configs. Other than that, it was quite a nice distro, which is definitely something you might want to try if you enjoy Linux distros. Hope you all enjoyed this video, hydrated, and took care of yourself. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.